Hey everyone, Varuma Hocha here. Today I'm doing another breakdown of Leandro Lowe vs Clark Gracie at the 2013 Copa Podio. So as we always do, I'm going to do a preview of these athletes and we're going to understand who they are and what they do. Leandro Lowe is one of the he's one of the most well-rounded guys in jiu-jitsu, and also he plays only top in this match, but he's also very well-rounded in his general top game as well. He uses all types of passes around, through, and under. He's most famously known for his bullfighter or Toriando and his knee slide, but he also has a pretty underrated stack. Clark Gracie, he's mainly a bottom player, and he's really well known for his spin through omoplata off the lasso. So for the start of the match, we got to understand these athletes' goals. This one in the start of the match for this tournament, there was actually like a lack of strategy. It was really cool. Like it's kind of badass to see. Like Leandro at these Copa Podio tournaments, like whenever his opponent was a bottom player, he'll just let them pull guard. And whenever his opponent was a top player, he'll just pull guard. So that was kind of like pretty gangster. So obviously over here, Clark is a bottom player, so we're gonna see Leandro just let him pull, and then he's gonna go from there. Also, everyone, on a side note, make sure to stay till the end. I got some kind of deals or offerings for you, I guess you could call it. But just keep watching till the end and you'll kind of see what it is. So here we got the start of the match. They're just preparing, powering up. They touch hands, and Leandro does his little bird wing thing. Okay, so Clark over here, he's gonna go kind of like a fake shot, and try to do a pull off it. In this situation, though, you're gonna see it isn't the best thing to do because he gets immediately passed right there. Um, in hindsight, it probably wasn't the best thing to do because Leandro already had his hips back after the shot, and because Clark pulled with a sleeve grip and his feet weren't past the hips, that kind of left him exposed to the bullfighter, and if you're going to pull with your knees to your chest, you need to make sure that you have a frame also, so it probably would have been better to get a collar grip instead. You can also see that he had no control over Leandro's body when he sat down, and Leandro just kind of had excellent timing and took advantage of that moment. We see that once Leandro has passed, Clark is doing a really good job bumping and getting his hips up and constantly moving. And we also see Leandro progressing to the other side, and it looks like he's going to go for the back over here, and he does go for it. And the only mistake he makes over here is that he doesn't underhook with his right hand, as you're going to see over here. It kind of keeps over the top, and Clark is able to get his back to the mat. Notice that in the process of Clark regarding, Leandro is super on point and attacks the leg drag. As Leandro attacks the leg drag, Clark does a good job of throwing the crossover, and that allows him to kind of reset his guard a little bit, and he is able to get his lasso and start attacking that spin through omoplata that he likes. Notice that over here Leandro is on his knee and not being as relentless as he was earlier in the match. For Leandro in general, whenever his opponent has an upper body guard, he generally likes to wait for a transition and then explode for a throw by, as he knows his opponents can't sweep him in those positions because they have no lower body control. As you can see over here, Clark is going to tip him onto his hip and he's going to be able to stand right back up again. Clark in that transition used the tip over really well to spin all the way through to the omoplata, which is his very typical entry that he hits all the time. And Leandro also did his pretty classic omoplata escape, which is using his free hand to push on the outside leg. This is really good because this allows Leandro to immediately start attacking a throw by or a stack. We see Leandro over here attacking the stack on Clark, and he does something really smart. By messing with Clark's timing as he moved momentarily, Clark overreacts as he was expecting Leandro to be in front of him, and Leandro assists him with that overreaction by also throwing his leg, which makes it easier for him to attack the back. If we replay the back attack that Leandro did, he actually made a mistake by letting go of the underhook for some reason that allows Clark Gracie to get back onto his back. We also see that Leandro puts his weight over Clark to get an underhook, but Clark does a nice job of bumping Leandro to that side in order to get a better position. When they reset, Leandro knows that he's got the momentum on his side, never actually completely resets as he starts clearing that top leg of Clark. And Clark probably does the biggest no-no of jiu-jitsu and puts his feet to the mat, which gives Leandro the pass very easily. However, he does a good job of bumping his hips up once he gets past to create the space and get his legs somewhat back into the equation, but it's not a good spot. Clark makes the same mistake twice in a row and hip escapes again, which gives Leandro the underhook in the pass. It would have been better for him to pull his knees to his chest, start pummeling his feet to the biceps into frame simultaneously. You're going to see over here when Clark regards, he made a good decision to immediately strip the grip that Leandro had with his right hand, as Leandro is famous for doing a throw-by with that grip. Notice Clark has his right shin across Leandro's torso to help him spin for the omoplata. When Clark does weave the lasso though, Leandro weaves his hand out, which makes the lasso control not valid anymore, and Clark, knowing his game, should switch to an omoplata with a tricep grip. We see that when Leandro steps to the side, Clark starts taking out the lasso to reset his lasso grip, and in that moment, Leandro explodes for the pass, but Clark still makes the same mistake of hip escaping whenever trying to retain his guard, and that gives Leandro the turtle. When they reset and Clark gets the lasso, notice that when Leandro backsteps, Clark doesn't drop his feet to the mat and is able to keep his guard this time. However, on completing the inversion, Clark extends his legs and posts his hands on the mat, which leaves him in a vulnerable position without a frame. I hypothesize it would have been better for him to spin all the way through while staying on his back and getting ready to frame. Leandro ends up in three-quarter mount again, and he switches to the collar grip as he had trouble getting the underhook beforehand. We see that Clark starts to open up his legs, and Leandro tries to take advantage of that by trying to progress to mount, but Clark has his knee under Leandro's. Leandro then switches to a backstep, but Clark is able to turn into him. When Clark turns into him with his top hand, he makes a sleeve grip. This was okay in the other scenarios as Leandro wasn't in a position to do any explosive throw-bys as he was on his knees, but in this situation it was bad because now he has no frame. When Clark inverts, Leandro does a beautiful job of keeping the pants and throwing his hips back so he can continue the throw-by, which turns into a Toriando at that angle on Clark. We see that Leandro over here is in corner mount, and he was trying to work the underhook earlier a few seconds ago. However, Clark has been able to recover really successfully in that position. When Clark resets his guard, notice that his right hand is gripping Leandro's pants to stop Leandro from going to the knee slide. The only problem in this position though is that his hand is on top of his leg, which doesn't allow him any strong control, and we see that Leandro just strips the grip and hops his left leg over Clark's right leg. We see Leandro stands up to Toriando, and Clark starts hip escaping again, and Leandro's around to come around the head for the pass. Hey everyone, that's the end of the video. So yeah, this is a really good match to study. I frequently come back to it. Leandro is one of the best to study overall. He's really good at like everything really. He's one of the biggest innovators in the sport. Clark Gracie is also really good to study. I like to watch him from for his omoplatas, and I've actually trained with him a few times. Um, on another note, I'm also offering online private lessons. So during this time of quarantine, it's going to be pretty hard to progress in your jiu-jitsu, and I kind of want to help you with that. I want to help you be able to get to be better at jiu-jitsu when you return, rather than regressing in your overall training. Okay, so you want to still progress during this time of quarantine, and I want to help you with that. So feel free to send me a message on Instagram or an email maybe, and I can help you out with that. that's all for this time, everyone. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Try and implement what you learnt in the try and implement what you learnt in the video. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Let it be all chill. Goodbye.